You're live, sir.
All right. It being 1:30 on December 20th, 2022, we're going to commence today's proceedings before the Special Magistrate for Code Enforcement before the City of Palatka. My name is Ron Brown. I'm an attorney licensed in Florida, and pursuant to state law and local code, I have been appointed by the City Commission of City of Palatka to preside over today's proceeding. These proceedings, as I said, are governed by both state statute and local code, and do not, however, require that we operate a traditional formal court of law. The statute that governs these activities requires that we have follow the basic rules of due process and give everyone an opportunity to be heard, an opportunity to examine any evidence that's being brought by the city, an opportunity to present any testimony and any evidence that they wish to have before the special magistrate with regard to the issues at hand. At the conclusion of the hearing today, after hearing the testimony and evidence and looking at the ordinances that are in effect, I'll issue a decision whether or not there's a violation. If there is a violation, it may be that a fine can be imposed in the event of non-compliance. However, as of today's date, for the new cases at least, there have been no fines that will go into effect probably for at least a month and maybe longer, depending on the particular case. So that being said, one of the requirements of the law in order to have my due process is that the evidence be substantial and competent. And substantial and competent is one of those legal terms you hear, but it basically means that it's evidence that would cause a reasonable person to come to a conclusion, with the evidence at hand. One of the requirements of that, however, is that all testimony be sworn. So I'm going to ask that all persons who will be testifying today to please stand and take an oath. And your name for the record, sir, is? John. Okay, Mr. Watman. And please take the following oath. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And let the record show that all three persons present in person today have taken the oath. I understand there will be someone for subsequent hearings who will be appearing by Zoom. We're going to take the cases in the order in which they're on the agenda, unless someone is present and as a respondent. And we do have someone, and that is Mr. John Wadman. The case is case 2022-052, the property located at 417 North 3rd Street. What's going to happen is that Mr. Green is going to present the city's case regarding what the alleged violations are. And then Mr. Wadman, you'll have an opportunity to ask any questions that you may have, present any testimony that you may have. When you speak, Mr. Wadman, that mic active over here, Ms. Hughes?
Yes.
Okay. Visually, is that location going to be okay?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, just stand there. And the evidence Mr. Green has will be displayed on the monitor. All right, Mr. Green?
Yes, the case was first observed 10/21/2022. The notice of hearing was sent out 11/8/2022. Green card came by sign. The complex posted was 12/12/22. The violations are 30-169 building fronts and sides, abutting streets or public areas. The description is missing decorative elements, rotten and weakened wood.
All right, and a couple things just to make sure we have some due process issues satisfied. Mr. Wadman, your mailing address is P.O. Box 51241, Jacksonville, Florida 32240, correct? All right. Jacksonville Beach. Yeah, but you did get the certified letter. All right, very good. We'll make sure we have the correct address for you with regard to that. All right, Mr. Green, go ahead. But let me first of all, just for the record, indicate what statutes we're looking at, what code section we're looking at. Mr. Green indicated we're looking at a section 30-169 of the City of Palatka Code. That section provides in material part all deteriorated structural and decorative elements visible from a public right-of-way should be repaired or replaced. Every such part of a structure visible from a public right-of-way or abutting street shall be made structurally sound. Rotten or weakened portions shall be removed, repaired, and replaced in a manner compatible with the rest of the structure or to match the original materials and construction techniques. All exposed wood shall be stained or painted. Every part should be cleaned of graffiti, litter, dirt, or other debris. Where surfaces were once painted, Not more than 10% of surface may be free of paint or stain. And then finally, subsection D, mildew should be cleaned from buildings having street visibility, and loose wires such as cable TV shall be secured. Not more than 10% of the building having street visibility may have mildew. All right, and Mr. Green, what street are we talking about? Third Street, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. You have some evidence for us?
Yes, sir.
When you get a chance. Let Mr. Green make his presentation, and you can ask him any questions you want, and then. I'm sorry? Okay. All right. Well, let's do this for the record. It's one of these things where I need to make a clear record of what's going on. First of all, Mr. Green, during the demonstrative evidence you're showing us today, did you take the photographs you're presenting?
Yes, sir. I did.
And do the photographs actually represent the condition of property and
Yes,
data in
sir.
which you took them? All right, just for the record, Mr. Wiseman's been very responsive here today. Apparently, this has to do with rotten and weakened wood. Is that correct? And missing elements? Can you show us what we're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Please. Make sure we're on the same page as what needs to be done is what I'm after.
That's right. That was taken 10/11/2022.
This is photo one.
Yes, sir. You
Okay.
see the missing elements and the weakened and rotten wood.
So what needs to be done in that photo?
The decorative, needs to
The
be-
balustrade on the
Yes.
railing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Need to be repaired. And some of the rotten and weakened wood.
Okay,
At the same, that's the side of the house. 10/11/22, that's picture 2. That's right up under the porch. The rotten weakened wood.
all right.
That's picture 4, showing the dirt and the debris under the porch also.
We're now at photo 4.
Yes.
Okay. What needs to be done there?
Pressure wash and paint it with nice uniform coat of paint.
All right. Now we're at 5.
Yes, sir. That's just another close-up picture, and it's.
This is the
showing-
bottom of the fencing on the second floor,
Yes, sir.
railing on the second floor. Okay. And that needs to be replaced.
Yes, sir. And the dirt and debris under that also, needs to be
Okay.
pressure wash. This is B, the same, it was taken Friday. As you can see, this, it still looks the same. That was taken 12/16/2022.
So as I see from what you're showing me, it looks like the second floor railing needs to be replaced,
Yes,
repaired at least, but replaced.
yes,
And that the front is of it, I guess it's part of a soffit type, underneath the railing needs to be replaced. Is that correct?
yes, sir.
And it needs to be pressure washed.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Or mildew removed?
Well, I didn't see any mildew. That was the dirt. That was like some spiders or whatever it's got under there.
But what are you looking for? Just the pressure washing?
Just a pressure wash.
Or Mr. Wadman, your turn. He's got basically, the city's looking at 2 things. This is the bottom of the, is this the bottom of the railing on the second floor here? Or is that the roof?
That's the bottom.
All right.
That's the bottom of the porch.
So that porch basically needs to be repaired so that it's, all the elements are present and all the rot removed. Yeah.
And all of that decorative wood, like match that, like keep it the same, but I may not be able to make that obviously done also. The same completely therefore.
Anything else? Is this in the North Historic District?
Yes, sir. There's one street over and what, 2 blocks, about 3
Right.
blocks down.
Did you see a Wyckoff house years ago? It's got like stained glass in it upstairs. I'm just trying to remember
No.
a long time ago. Yeah. Mm. That's not really relevant. Okay. Well, where we are with this is that the city has a very straightforward case, and since that what they want to have done is have that second floor balcony railing replaced with a rotten wood, replaced or repaired. I don't know if you can repair it without replacing it, but Mr. Green, do you think be repaired?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then basically pressure wash
Yes.
front of the house.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wadman, you have any problems with any of that? All right, city wants to take 60 days for you to do this.
How many?
60?
Oh, I think it's 6.
No, no.
I was thinking, oh,
These plexiglass things aren't sometimes your friends. No, 60, no, over the holidays, that'd be great, right? All right, and that falls on, since 60 days from today actually falls on the 18th of February. So you'll get until Monday, February 20th for compliance. And I'm going to find, based on all of that, I'm going to find if there is a violation of 30-169 due to the building fronts and sides abutting streets or public areas, and the sides facing North Third Street are missing decorative elements with rotten and weakened wood on the balcony areas, and the front of it needs to be pressure washed. And we'll have, the respondent will have until the end of business on Monday, February 20th. I'll give you a couple of days, more than 60 days to take care of that. In the event of non-compliance, however, $25 day fine kicks in starting on February 21st. Need to make sure you know how to get in touch with Mr. Green and make sure he comes out and takes a look at it. If you're having any difficulties with the process, make sure you also get in touch with him. Don't wait until the last moment. They're pretty, you know, usually these things don't get this far in the process unless there just hasn't been any effort made to try to get something done. You're here and you seem responsive to what's going on, but maintain that and make sure you stay in touch with the city on what the progress is. Okay. And you'll get an order at the Jacksonville Beach address on today's hearing, and it'll come to you by certified mail. All right. And make sure, Mr. You know how to get in touch with him, Mr. Green? All right.
All right. Thanks, Walter.
All right. We have two cases on Zoom. Is that correct, or online? Which is the first one? First one is, let's take 424 Emmett Street. This is case number 2021-15. The Maria Corporation of Seminole Incorporated, 424 Emmett Street. Now, this is an older case. What's its status, procedural status?
Yes, sir. It's like back in for it was early 2026, 2021.
First of all, let me identify who we have online. Who's with us today?
Hi, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good afternoon, Magistrate. My name is William Corzo. I'm here for Maria Corporation and for the owner of both properties, 424 Emmett and the 801 St. John Street.
And did you appear in the previous hearings on these cases?
I did, Magistrate, yes.
Okay. And are you an attorney? Are you a principal with the corporation?
Well, I'm
All of the above?
all the above. I'm actually attorney, principal of corporation. And I'm sure everyone in that room knows that these properties are owned by a corporation, but they're owned by my family. So I kind of triple duty here for all of those parties.
And the only reason I ask, if you're here today as an attorney, we don't swear in attorneys, but if you're here today as a representative of a corporation, I'm going to put you under oath.
Sure, that's fine.
Would you raise your right hand for me? You saw, what's your name again?
William Corzo.
Thank you. Can you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Mr. Green, tell us why we're here and what the city's asking for.
This is the case, set a lien. This case was reserved in 2021. The hearing was held on 4/20/2021. And we're just coming back to set a lien on it and show you how it looks now.
So we had an original hearing
4/20.
4/20 with a compliance date of June 21st, 21.
Yes.
Okay, have there been any compliance at all since the date of the order finding violation?
The grass was cut at one moment, at one time, but it's grown back.
Is that it?
Yeah.
The grass?
Well, no, if I may, there was some Magistrate, there was some on the, I don't know what side, the other side of that house. This is the front. We're looking at the front, but
Yes, sir.
yeah, Mr. Green's correct. There was some foliage that was removed, a substantial amount on the other side of the house. That's not shown in this picture, but that was done after the first hearing, and that portion was in compliance for a period of time, but it does appear that it has since grown back. But aside from that, Mr. Green is correct that was at the time, that was the only thing that had been done. Just for the record, we made attempts to rectify the windows, but we've had some trouble with coordinating with the historic district in terms of how we can do that. Because I know that I've been in talks with them and my family have been in talks with them in the past. And we're trying to comply with them in the sense I've reached out to them on several occasions and have not heard back. And then there was an issue with the fence. I believe that we were also waiting for them because at the last hearing, we were talking about how, what color the fence was supposed to be or what it wasn't supposed to be. So we had tabled that so that we could get some feedback from the historic district. And also the shed in the back, yeah, we have not done anything with that so far.
Well, let's make sure I understand what we're supposed to have done.
Sure.
The original violation appeared to be one of section 30-170 of the code due to paint deterioration on the rear and side walls of the structure. Mr. Green, what's the status of that? All right. What do you-
Photos.
all right, you have some demonstrative evidence? All right, and all right, this is photo number one. Did you take all the photos you're presenting
Yes, sir.
today's evidence?
Yes,
Do they accurately represent the condition of the property on the date in which you took them?
yes, sir.
All right, what are we looking at here in photo
These
one?
are photos from 2/26/2021.
Okay. Well, back up. And that's from, well, almost 2 years ago. And
Yes,
what's the status today?
It's the
What do
same.
you want to show me in that photo? Explain it for
That
the
was
record.
that's just a photo of the house, what it looks like with the street is on and everything.
Okay. And show me some violations then and what the status is now.
Okay. This is taken for 19/2021. That's a side wall with the mold and mildew.
Okay, hang on. Well, the original violations were paint deterioration in violation of 30-170, windows broken or damaged in violation of 30-171, overgrown vegetation and down tree limbs in violation of 30-32A, dilapidated shed in violation of 30-176, fencing in poor condition, rotting portions of structure exposed in violation of 30-169, and front door open and animals entering unoccupied dwelling through the doors and windows and fence rusting in violation of 30-179 of the repairs. So which ordinance is number 11?
That would be 30-169.
Okay.
And Mr. Green, just for reference, where exactly is that? That's on the
That's on the
side, yes, or is that in the back?
yes, that's the south side of the house. That's the road the road is passing by your house, the side road.
Right, gotcha. And that's towards the front or towards the,
The side, toward the front and middle.
right, gotcha.
Yes,
Thank
So is this supposed to be deteriorated?
no, so that's mold and mildew.
And just for the record, that's another one of the issues.
Okay.
Trying to do anything with that home is just, it proves difficult. We can try to do a lot with the vegetation. But once, I think in the past, we tried to pressure wash some of that, but that paint there it all blends in with the historic district,
Okay.
and they're wanting to keep everything original.
All right, well, show me what else you have. Now, this is the photo 920. What's this? Do you have photos today showing what it looks like?
Yes, sir.
On 12/16/22.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and go back to the previous one. So has some work been done on that? Is that different looking?
Yes, sir. I guess it might have been rain, got some of the green stuff off, but it's still moldy.
Okay, all right. And I understand from the respondent, some efforts he claims have been made to try to resolve this, but it's still there as 12/16. All right, what else do you have?
That's more of the mildew.
And this is still in violation of 30-169.
That was real inside wall, so that.
Okay. And can you see this side of the house from the street?
Yes, it's the same side of the wall as the mold and mildew.
Okay. And since you had back-to-back photographs, one from February of 21 and then the other from December of 22, correct?
Yes, sir. And this is the shed that Mr. Kuzo was speaking of. That was taken, the first picture was taken 2/26/21, and the second was taken 12/16/2022.
All right, and this is a violation of 30-176. Maintaining the exterior. This is the shed we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Right.
And that's the overgrown grass.
And I'm sorry, for the record, the particular violation for the shed is which one?
30-176, exterior properties.
Okay, so that applies to appurtenances like the sheds and things like that.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
All right, what else?
The overgrown grass and the broken windows.
All right, and they haven't been repaired since
No, sir.
February of 21. Okay. And what are you showing me now?
That's a picture of the and some more broken windows.
Okay. And those have not been repaired either.
No, sir.
What else? I did.
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, since February of 20, have y'all been talking to each other? Mr. Green?
We have talked in the past, and I will tell everyone in the room that Mr. Green has been great to work with. In particular, the 801 St. John's, he's been very receptive. He's appreciated the work we've done there. Maybe we haven't chatted as much as we had liked to, but every time I have spoken to him, he has been great and very easy to work with and professional. So I thank him for that truly. But yeah, we have this, and this may not be relevant, but it just gives a little bit of background to the magistrate as to what is actually going on and how difficult it has proven to get things done for this particular property. So my family has owned property in that area for over 20 years. This home in particular for roughly 22 years. Initially, it was purchased. We were going to try to rehab it. We actually had a carpenter living there for a significant period of time. We put resources in there. He ended up getting arrested and we lost him. And then from that point on, we've just been back and forth trying to keep up with the building. So as time has gone on, there's been a few storms, a few hurricanes, a few large trees have fallen on the house. Things have admittedly gone into disrepair and some decay. We do actively, though, try to move forward. We actively try to do something with that home and with the other properties that we have in that area. We've paid the neighbor that lives across the street, Eddie McGibbon, $200 a month for the past several years to do some general light landscaping, mowing the lawn, making sure things don't get too crazy. He is partially handicapped and is in a motorized scooter, but so he has some limitations, but he has helped us do some general maintenance at that location, and we've expended funds doing that, not to mention that in the past several years, specifically the most recent time we were there in June 5th. I think that's when we did the initial removal of a large portion of those vines and weeds that were covering the south side of the home. So when we were there, we actually did a lot of tree trimming. We had a tree lift out there that we rented. My entire family was out there doing that. We spent a couple of days clearing that out. But I mean, unfortunately, this is Florida, so some of these things do grow back. So what we're left with is we have put some effort there. Maybe we haven't gotten to where the city would like us to get.
Well, let me see if I can summarize this.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at the date of compliance for the original order was on June 21st of last year. So we've had a year and a half since that date, almost exactly. And all that was supposed to be done to the house in order to find compliance was to repair some windows, which how many windows were there, Mr. Green?
All four.
You have to repair 4 windows. And there was basically one area which needed to be either pressure washed or
Yes, yes, sir.
repainted on the
Yes, sir.
side of the house, which how many square feet total do you think that was?
Maybe 10, 15.
All right. And get the vegetation, tree limbs down, do something with that shed. The easiest thing would have been to remove it.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then to repair the fencing in the front of the house, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then just secure the house so that animals don't get in the front of it.
Yes, sir.
Well,
And none of that seemed to get done in a year and a half. It wasn't like there was a huge amount. And the reason I'm bringing the question up is that the fine that kicked in starting on June 21st with $150 a day, it's up to $82,000. I mean, it's a lot. Well, I mean, realistically, it wasn't like the respondent had to overhaul the whole house. It was just looks like 6 different repairs that needed to be made. And I'm sitting there now looking at the city's coming in wanting a lien on the property. And once that lien goes on, it's going to be up to the city commission to decide what they want to do about reducing that, if at all. So is that where we are, Mr. Green?
Yes, sir.
What usually when these things get in front of me, these cases get in front of me, it's a motivator. Nobody really wants your money. What they do want the house fixed. And we haven't been getting there. What's the motivation to convince the city that this is going to be taken care of promptly?
Well, Magistrate, I have a couple things. I would like, and if anyone in that room can help us coordinate with the historic district, because the shed was actually an issue too, because I had asked them about that. I asked them about the fence and I asked them about the pressure washing. If I can get them to sign off on removing the shed, to give us an opinion on the fence and actually the windows as well, and the paint, then we know exactly what we need to do and what we can do, and then we can get it done. I know it's been quite some time and that falls on us, and I admit that, but if we're all here trying to work towards the same goal, then I think that would be one step in that direction.
Well, one thing we're pretty good at here is trying to make sure that everybody understands what needs to be done at the point of the first hearing. So there's not any misunderstanding what compliance is going to be. And now we're here a year and a half later, we're saying we don't know what is going to be required for compliance. I'm a little concerned, guys.
You have Ms. Washington.
All right. You raise your right hand for me, identify yourself. Identify yourself, please.
Planning Director, City Palatka.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you shall give today should be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Like, please proceed.
Mr. Magistrate, Mr. Corzo.
Sorry, I can't, I can barely hear. She can speak closer to the mic.
Mr. Magistrate and Mr. Corzo, can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you, I appreciate it.
Good, thank you. I am the planning director and I coordinate with the Historic Preservation Board for all of their cases. If it's required to go before the board, many of the issues that I see on this case right now are things that can be classified as ordinary maintenance and repair. Those kinds of things can come to me for staff approval. It's a $50 fee with an application that we can email to you. You may pay the fee over the phone. There's a $6 convenience charge for that. And it's something that I can turn around in a matter of a few days. and get it back to you for as far as our certificate of appropriateness for these repairs. What I will need from you in that application will be product specification sheets, for example, the type of windows that you are going to be using, if you're going to replace the whole window, or if you're just going to be using glass in the panes, individual panes. I will also need any kind of fencing material that you're going to be using, unless you're just going to be pressure washing and painting or something like that. It's pretty simple, straightforward. And you won't have to go before the Historic Preservation Board.
Okay.
And just for the record, I have been here 18 months now, and I don't think I've ever had the pleasure of talking with you.
Yes, that is correct. I mistakenly was going to try to contact the historical board. I did not know that and that's my fault for not digging deeper into that, but I didn't know that this particular resource was available.
Okay,
And I appreciate you bringing that up right
How
now.
much time does he need to do this, Ms. Walsh?
that will be up to him.
Well, how much time, there's certain time processes, there's certain minimum times of processes it take, especially over the holidays.
Well, as far as the certificate of appropriateness is concerned, I can have that turned around in a week.
Okay.
Is
Is there any reason why you couldn't get it finished in the next 60 days
I would not think
from
so.
your standpoint?
I would not think so.
Right. Here's the deal, guys. The cities come in and under state statute, they've asked for, and they have an entitlement to a lien. So what I'm going to do is this, I'm going to grant the imposition of a lien on the property, but I'm going to withhold the recording of it for 60 days. All right, now in that 60-day period, they haven't got compliance to satisfy the city with regard to this, that lien's going to get recorded. Ms. Hughes, make sure the order reflects the fact that the lien can be recorded 60 days from today's date, which would be, I guess, given it's a Monday, the 60 days would be on February 20th.
Yes, sir.
All right, so if this is, Ms. Wallace hasn't gotten satisfied with compliance by February 20th, the order is going to show the lien's going to be applied and recorded against the property. These fines continue to tick away, guys. And like I said, I don't have any authority to reduce these things. That's something the city commission's got to deal with. And I'll leave that up to y'all, but that's the way that one's going to go. Any questions? Okay,
No, Your Honor, I would just, or Magistrate, sorry, I'm used to saying Your Honor. Magistrate, I would, what will be the opinion of the magistrate if we're in substantial compliance? I know we've had a lot of time to do this, but if I'm working with Mr. Green and we've done 80% of what's been asked, I think that's a big move. I don't want to keep dragging this out forever, and I appreciate the leniency you've shown so far. But
again, is everybody on the same page as to precisely what needs to be done? We have deteriorating paint. They had about 10 square feet of paint that apparently was mold and
Yes, sir.
mildew.
Yes, sir.
Which side of the house was that on, Mr. Green?
The right side.
Right side?
Yes, sir.
so the south
We
side,
had 4
Yes,
windows
sir.
that need to be replaced, 4
Yes.
broken windows that need to be replaced. We have overgrown vegetation and tree limbs, which need to be taken care of again. That's common maintenance. So apparently some of that's been done. The shed's probably going to have to go, from what I can tell. I don't know if it's repairable, but it needs to get off of there. And once you take it out, you're going to have the vegetation and debris to remove from the yard. The fencing in the front of the building, that still needs to be repaired.
Yes, pressure wash.
Pressure wash, does any structural elements need to be repaired?
Not that I see.
So you need a pressure washer. And you need to protect the front of the house so that animals can't get inside, just to secure it.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Everybody clear on that?
yes. Now, I'm sorry, ma'am. What was your last name? The
I'm
speaker,
Lisa Walsh.
Lisa Walsh. Oh, Miss Walsh.
WALSH.
Right. So Ms. Walsh, you're there, you're present, you heard all these. What am I going to need to write to you and coordinate with you for any and all of these items then?
I will get your email address from Mr. Green and Mr. Cutright,
Mhm.
and we'll email you an application for a certificate of appropriateness. Most of what you're doing is ordinary maintenance and repair, which I can approve at the staff level. I don't necessarily have to approve whatever it is you're going to be doing with cutting the grass or removing vegetation.
Right, and how about the shed, the removal of the
shed-
shed?
That will have to be approved in this, in the COA also, the certificate of appropriateness.
Need a permit for that.
Yes, you will need a demolition permit for that through Putnam County. And I can email you the directions on how to do that.
Okay, that would
well.
be excellent. And then as far as the fence? Because, yeah, I'm unclear on the fence because last time they mentioned that I had to paint it, but now it's pressure washing it, so.
Just pressure wash it, some, what I call deer moss on it. All the fence, some deer moss on it.
What's the material of the fence? What's it made of?
It's wrought iron.
Okay. So yes, you would probably need to pressure wash and or paint. It's up to you.
But is that something that I would need, because that's a historical fence as well?
I can again approve the paint at the staff level. So you won't need to go before the Historic Preservation Board.
Okay.
All right, if there's no further business regarding case number 2021-15, we're going to move to case 2021-24. Ms. Walsh, are you involved in this one also? This is 801 St. John's Avenue.
I have not been, sir.
Probably relieved that you're not involved with that one. All right, this is also Maria Corporation of Seminole Incorporated, and we're also here for the city's request to impose administrative fine and lien to be recorded against the subject property, again for noncompliance. The original first hearing date was on April 20th of 21. And we have since had some fines accrue at the rate of how much were the daily fines on this? $125 a day fines on this property for noncompliance. All right, Mr. Green, show us what we have here.
The first picture was taken 3/24/21.
Or back up. Let me just tell me what we're dealing with. We've got 30-170 rear side walls, paint deterioration and inconsistent condition, hole in the exterior wall. And you got before and after photos here,
Yes,
then
sir.
and now photos, I guess I should say.
Yes, sir.
And 30-171 of the code, broken windows as one, is that
Yes, sir.
singular broken window?
Yes, sir.
And 30-32A, prohibited conditions and public nuisances, overgrown grass and debris. And 30-169 of the municipal code, building fronts and sides abutting streets or public areas. I presume the street being St. John's Avenue, is that correct?
Yes, sir. St. John's and
Fencing in need of repairs, rotten or exposed wood.
yes, sir.
This is between 7th and 8th Street on St. John's itself?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
The old gas station there, Texaco.
okay. All right, please proceed.
Okay, this is the picture that was taken.
And regarding the photographs, did you take the photographs you're presenting today as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
And do they accurately represent the condition of property on the date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
All right. Please proceed.
This is the first picture that was taken in 3/24/21. Can you
All right.
blow it up, Aaron?
Okay, back, okay. Show me the violations. in
Okay,
there.
on the front is the one that's broken, and you got the fencing and you have debris in front of the store.
So the broken window, you show me a broken window in this one?
Yes, sir, right,
So it's in the top center?
yes, sir.
Okay, that window is broken. All right.
And then the fencing and the debris in front of the gas station.
All right.
And then this picture was taken 12/16. They fixed the window, they removed the fencing, and they removed the debris.
So the window's still broken?
No, so it's fixed.
It's fixed?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. We're just showing some stuff that they done to the property.
All right. So they took care of that one.
Yes, sir.
All right.
And this is the hole in the wall. This is on the side. That's on 8th Street. And they repaired it.
But this was the violation of 30-170.
Yes.
Okay, and is that repair, did you go out and look at that?
Yes, sir.
And is it satisfactory?
Yes, sir.
Did you, and you relayed that to the respondent?
Now we have.
Okay. Well, when did this repair get made? When did the window repair get made? Do you know?
No, sir.
It was sometime after,
Yes, sir.
hang on. sometimes after June 20th of 20, let's see. Okay, won't compliance
Yes,
date.
Magistrate, I have, sorry to interrupt. I have the dates here if you'd like, of when that work was done.
All
I
right, let
believe
me
it
make
was
sure I
done on
understand something.
April 29th of 2020.
Let me make sure we have everything right, because some of the dates here are not matching up on the, I've got the initial order was entered on June 20th of 21.
Hmm.
All right, well, it says 22 here. Okay, and the fine would begin on, it was back in April was the original hearing date? Yes, okay, I have it. April 20th, compliance date was June 20th of 21. Fine accruing on June 21st of 21. And the property is not in compliance on June 20th of 21. And the fines have accrued since June 21st of 21 up to today's date. So after June 20th of 21, you don't know when these repairs were made, Mr. Green?
No, sir, Mr. Corso says he has dates. Mr. Corso say he has dates.
Okay.
Yes, Magistrate, just for the record, yeah, I have.
Did the respondent contact you, Mr. Green,
No, sir.
concerning the
No,
fact
sir.
that repairs are made?
No, sir,
And when's the last time he contacted you before today's hearing?
yesterday.
So since June 20th of 21, you haven't had any contact with the respondent?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. So the window's been repaired.
Yes, sir.
This is the hole in the wall, this photo 2. Which one is this, please? For reference. 2B
2B,
maybe?
yes, sir.
All right. And then the city's taking that one as satisfactory? That repair? I just need an answer, guys. Your city.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he's gonna get involved after all.
Yeah.
And for your name,
But yeah, Mr. Green already testified that that was satisfactory.
and Ms. Walsh is here from the city's Planning and Building and Historic Preservation Department, and she's been previously sworn.
Ms. Welsh, Planning Director, City of Palatka. This building is not located in a historic district. Therefore, it's not subject to the same historic standards.
I'm just asking,
Yes.
is this repair to this hole in the wall compliance under the city's, the city's satisfied with this? And does
That
anybody
may-
know
that
when
may
it was
be
made?
Building Department of Putnam County's question.
Well, here's the deal. The fine runs from when compliance was or wasn't made. So when do these fines run from, guys? Who's doing the calculation?
We did the calculation for June 20. It's Eddie Cartwright, Port Enforcement Director, City of Palatka. Right now, we're doing the calculation from the fire runners and the re-inspection date of June 21st, 2021. We were not notified of any repairs at that time, so we don't have no recollection of when this was actually brought into compliance. So that's where the calculations start from. As of right now, we will honor that this has been, is in compliance now, even though we have a few questions with the building, zoning code, we can see Palatka, Putnam County. But we will stop that fine as of today if we accept this as being compliant.
Well, let me ask the respondent, do you have any records which show when the window was repaired or when this hole in the wall was repaired?
Yes, Magistrate, I may have some, not written records, but I believe I have some cell phone photographs that were taken at the time that the repairs were made. So they're time stamped, so they would have that information on there.
Well, I'll leave it up to the city to decide whether repairs are made in a satisfactory manner. That's not for me to decide. That's for y'all to decide as whether there's compliance or not. Okay? But, you know, in sort of sorting out when it happened, what I'm hearing is it's uncontroverted that basically no one knew pretty much before yesterday that there was any compliance on this building until Mr. Green, you went out and looked at it. Have you looked at it at all in in a year and a half since the order?
This I pass by it every day.
Okay, did you see any, when's the last, Do you recall the first time you noticed there was a repair, either to the window or to the hole in the wall?
No, sir.
Okay.
I noticed the fence and the debris gone.
All right. We got some other things that look like anything overgrown grass and debris. Is this still an issue with this property?
No, sir. No, sir.
No, when, okay, the fines running on that stopping at some point?
Everything right now, from my knowledge, again, we have no notification from the client that he had any repairs to the property. So we are prepared to stop fines as of today for the ones that we see are being brought into compliance. And the other two, that violation that you'll see here shortly will continue to run until they come in.
Well, what about the fencing in need of repairs in violation of 30-169? Where is that?
Yes, sir, it's on it now.
I'm sorry? Okay, that still needs to be done.
Yes, sir, that's
So
all.
show me the two photographs. This
Yes,
is
sir.
first photograph was when?
3/24/21,
All right,
and this is photo from Friday, 12/16/22.
all right. And that hasn't been addressed.
No, sir.
Okay.
Now, just for the record, the photo in, I can't scroll that, but the first photo, 3A, I guess,
Yes, sir.
was because the fence is more damaged now because I think some people have broken into this fence. So if you look at that picture in 3A, that one in the description in 3A, that one doesn't mention the fence, but then the new picture does mention the fence. So I'm just, there's a discrepancy there. But in any event, that's lined up. I've already got a quote, or I'm waiting for a quote from Mr. Wayne Westbury. He's going to replace that fence anyway, so that should be done in the next few weeks. But my point was that the 3A photo, that one doesn't show anything having to do with the fence, and it doesn't even mention the fence in the description. So I just want us to be clear on that. Because the new photo, the 3B one that's taken recently, that's where the damage to the fence is.
All right.
And I think we're talking about the
Where we
chain
are-
link
So
fence.
where we are today is that the original violation of 30-171 broken window has been repaired at some date unknown. And that's the evidence in front of us today. And that the violation of 30-170, paint deterioration and a hole in the exterior wall, basically with the whole wall, has been repaired at some date unknown. That the overgrown grass and debris continues, and that the fencing issue needed repairs continues. Is that
Yes, sir.
correct?
Fencing, sir, yes.
All right. So basically, we're down to the fence and cleaning the property. And Mr. Cutright, the city is in a position where they're going to abate any further accumulation of fines at this point, or where are we?
But we want to, once we get official input on it, want the fans to continue to run until the city comes to the decision of whether they want to foreclose or abate property. Right now, we just want to get official input on it.
Well, if he brings it into compliance, the
Yeah.
fines would stop.
Stop.
Okay. Anything else from anyone?
Just for the record, again, it's my position, I'm under oath that I have the record that was completed on April 29, 2021. If we can, I can text or email these photographs with the timestamps showing that in fact did take place, as far as the ones that are in compliance, the window and the siding, and actually taking down the fence in the front. See, this picture is,
All right, you're
so that's
saying-
different from the previous picture. Yeah.
How do you prorate the fines, guys? Let's say he gets a part of it complied with and not all of it. Does he get a break on the fines?
I think on the ones that Valeria Thomas, city attorney, on the areas that have not been in compliance, the fines would continue to run on those. But the ones where it brought into compliance, the fines would stop.
That was my understanding of it, but I wanted to make sure we had this, everybody on the same page. So as of today's date, these fines total $68,625. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And there's $250 administrative fee. So the city's asking for the imposition of a fine of a lien on the property with fines continuing until compliance. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
All right.
And just for the
In order to
record,
do
what,
that, But
what remains in non-compliance then, just for the record?
Mr. Green,
The fence. And then slow down one more, Aaron. The awning still has to be repaired.
Okay,
That right there being repaired, but, what I'm saying is the awning that goes on the steel beams, it hasn't been repaired.
right.
all right,
Yes, I would ask for it. We can do that. Like I said, I have a quote from Mr. Westbury. We should be able to get that done in the next few weeks, as well as that awning. So,
well, do you know how to get in touch with Mr. Green?
yes, I do. I
Right.
spoke to him tomorrow.
Sure, you stay in touch with him and keep him up to date on what's going on, because you need to get control of this accumulation. Okay?
Absolutely.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for your attendance today. That being the
Well,
case, we'll move on, and you'll get an order in the mail imposing the lien on the property.
Well,
And again,
Magistrate, I
Once that
thought,
lien is there, getting that reduction, just so you know, is something that city commission has to deal with. But you gotta have a good reason.
well, Magistrate, I thought we were in the discussion with getting just since there has been, I would argue, substantial compliance for this one, I would ask for the same 60 days to finish those two remaining items. We've worked with the city of Palatka for
Well,
years.
the only thing you have left to do is to repair a fence
Fix on it.
And fix the
and
awning.
get the grass and debris down.
Yeah, and that, like I said, I've actually reached out to Mr. Westbury in the past 2 weeks. He just got back to me today, so those will be in compliance. I have no doubt that those will be in compliance within a month. Within 30 days.
Well, convince the city it's gonna happen. That's their choice and what they'd like to do.
Well, then.
Again, this thing isn't about
Asking-
collecting money. It's about motivating the property owner to get some, in your case, fairly minor considerations taken care of.
Right,
And right
absolutely.
now, we're looking at 2 years of this and we're still staring at these issues. So what's your case to the city that this is gonna get taken care of?
Right, so is there someone there on behalf of the city that could work with me on abating this for another 30 to 60 days? We've also been in talks with other members in the community to help with some of the easing some of the issues downtown. So we're trying to work with the city of Palatka in making everyone happy, helping some of the downtown business owners and providing and using some of the other properties that we have to provide additional parking and easements to help with some of these issues with the ongoing construction downtown. So we've offered the gas station, we've offered three of the other properties that aren't at issue here. But my point is that we're trying to work with the city. So I hope the city will continue to work with us as well. So at this point, I would just be asking for that 30 to 60 days to fix just these two remaining issues at 801 St. John's.
Well, if the city's okay, here's what I'm gonna recommend. I'm gonna give you 30. Merry Christmas. When will that be, Ms. Hughes?
Thirty days from today is Thursday, January 19th, 2023.
That doesn't stop the clock from starting on the fines. It just stops the date you get the lien reported.
I'm sorry, Ms. Hughes, could you repeat the date? I'm sorry.
Yes, Thursday, January 19th, 2023.
Mr. Cartwright, just so you understand, fines aren't abated during that time period, but the lien can be recorded 30 days after today. Okay? Okay? All right,
Well, just one thing. So if the issues are resolved, there's still the lien that I thought if the issues are resolved, that there is no imposition of the lien. Is that correct?
there's not what? I'm sorry.
That if the issues are resolved within the allotted time, that there is no imposition of the lien.
No. Well, if you get all the positions solved, well, what we're talking about was giving you time reporting it. The only people, well, you guys have to make a decision on the lien at that point.
Mr. Corso, as a part of the policy, if you
Yes.
want there to be some kind of reduction of the lien, there is a process where you contact Director Cutright. He can send you the documentation and you can present your facts or consideration that you want considered.
You need to do
in
that
order for
within
the-
this 30 and 60-day window.
Exactly. And then that'll go before the city commission based on a recommendation from Mr. Cutright.
Got it?
Okay, so just to be clear, even if we bring all these items into compliance, we still have to,
Well,
the lien will still.
here's the way this works.
Yeah.
And it's this, just so you understand, this is by authority of state law. Chapter 162 of the Florida statutes outlines very specifically how this works. And the courts have upheld this process. It's got some bite to it when it comes to these fine amounts. Okay? And I just have to tell you something. If you wait 1.5 years and you're having this conversation, you have waited a very expensive time frame. Okay? And whatever the issues are that have to do with trying to acquire whatever assistance is necessary, whatever materials are necessary, and I certainly know there have been issues in the past, it's still a duty of property ownership to address these issues. And trust me, we've had people come in with really serious difficulties they've had to confront. And some of them have been truly, truly sad to listen to. But the fact is, the way the law works and the way the city works, they want to get these things addressed. The out for this is, we're at a point now where, and you have to take it from my viewpoint, this thing is only about motivation. So far, the motivation hasn't worked. Now we're going to see if it works. And that working is going to be, we're going to have the hammer of the lien, and that's going to be delayed on 30 days for recordation on this and 60 days on the case that was previous to this. Those fines are still there. There are remedies you can get into to see about reducing those fines and avoid having those liens recorded. But you have 30 days on this property at 801 St. John's, and you've got 60 days on the previous property to see if you can address that. And I'm sorry it's over the holiday, but that's just where it fell today. So there's some work that needs to be done. You'll find Mr. Green, Mr. Cutright are pretty available with regard to trying to address these issues. To the extent Ms. Walsh is needed, she's still here watching all this with great anticipation as to what's going to happen next to see if we can get a resolution of this. But guys, you just can't wait 1.5 years and expect it to be the same situation it was in before. And code enforcement's got some strength behind it simply because it's a motivator to try to get people to address some things they have to go on. And I'm sorry it's that way, but it is that way. And the city's actually been pretty patient. So what's going to happen is there's not going to be a lien recorded on this property until 30 days on January 19th. You can stop that, get it in compliance, stay in touch with Mr. Green, and then you will need to go through the process on both of these cases to see by getting in front of the city commission and see if you can get those fines reduced. Okay?
All right.
You can do it before this. Need to start that reduction process before the 30-day period ends and before the 60-day period ends on the other case. Don't wait. Get it started. All right?
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming today.
Thank you.
All right. Next case is going to be case number 2020-48. Is this a new case? Both of these, the rest of these are new cases? All right. Property at the Martin Trust, property 804 Oak Street, Palatka. Mr. Green? I don't know if I still have them in order or not. Are we free of the other?
Mayor,
All right, Mr. Green?
Sorry, did we ask me a question?
I was just making sure he was off.
Oh. Yeah, this gentleman, yes, he is with.
Okay. All right, the Martin Trust, 804 Oak Street.
Yes, sir.
It's a variance, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was first observed 10/12/2022. Notice here was sent 11/8/2022. The exact posting was 11/8/2022. On the violation of 30-169 building front size on Pleasant Street. Rotten and exposed wood, mold and mildew. The next violation is 30-32. Overgrown grass, that's been taken care of. The next violation is 30-171, broken windows. And the next violation is 30-170, rear and side walls, paint deteriorating.
And for the record, apparently the legal title to this property is held in the name of John R. Martin trustee.
Yes, sir.
Is that correct?
Yes,
And for due process consideration, you sent the notice to 804 Oak Street, Palatka, Florida, 32177, correct?
yes, that's
And
the,
that's the address of the subject property?
yes, sir, and that's the address that's on the property appraiser and the tank.
All right.
Collector.
And is that property occupied?
No, sir,
Okay.
it was, but it's not anymore.
Well, you did not get a signed green card back and you did post the property, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you have put your affidavit of service in the record, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You've got some violations of 30-169 of the building of the municipal code regarding building fronts and sides, abutting streets or public areas, rotten and exposed wood, mold and mildew. A violation of section 30-32 prohibited conditions in public nuisances, overgrown grass. A violation of section 30-171 windows, broken windows, that's multiple on my list here. And section 30-170 rear and side walls deteriorating paint. We have
Yes.
4 violations alleged, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And for the record, citations to each of the pertinent sections of the code are included in the record. Hey, show me what you have.
Yes, sir. That's the first picture from the house with the exposed wood and the missing components at the top.
All right, and you took all the photos you're showing us today as demonstrative evidence,
Yes, sir.
and they accurately represent the condition of the property and the date on which you took them.
Yes, sir.
All right.
That's picture one.
And
Wrong.
picture 1 is 30-169.
Yes, sir.
So which is the wood missing right over the windows?
Yes, sir.
Is the wood above, is there missing wood above that, or is
Yes,
that?
sir.
So I'm looking at the windows, I'm looking at, looks like just some plywood.
Yes, sir. And then there was nothing there after the plywood. At the top of the plywood above the windows, there's nothing
Okay.
there.
All right. Has someone been attempting to work on this house? Do you know?
A passerby or a neighbor told me that some guy who was working on it and he got killed in a motorcycle accident like 4 months ago.
Okay. The reason it just looked like some newer work that was done.
Well,
Somebody taking down
it's
the outer.
looked the same for almost a year. That's one of the first houses Ms. Wash sent me out to see if they have a building permit, and it looked the same. Since we'll be able to get proactive, I was able to go and put a case on the house in October.
Okay.
And no one else complained about it.
Right, 1B. We'll go back up to 1B. This is just a
12, 16.
more distant photograph of the same issues.
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at the missing wood over the windows. I'm looking at missing wood in the soffit area.
Yes, sir, on it.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay,
And that's the side of the house, paint deteriorating.
and this is 30-170.
Yes, sir. That's on Oak Street, by the way.
Is the paint just chipped there, or
It's fault, it's
flaking?
deteriorating. It's, yes, sir, deteriorating.
Okay.
Weather.
Can you see that from the street?
Yes, sir. Oh, it's on Oak Street. That's another picture. It's 2B. That was taken 12/16/2022.
Is that going to require a repainting?
Yes, sir.
for
Pressure
preparation and
washing.
repainting?
Yes, sir. Pressure washing, a uniform coat of paint.
Pressure washing alone won't cure it. no.
No, sir. That's the other side of the house showing the deteriorating paint. That's the right side of the house. And that's 3B, that's 12/16, that was taken Friday.
It's more paint. And basically, again, it's same issue, needs to be pressure washed and painted.
Yes, sir. And that's a picture of the rotten and weakened wood. Picture four.
Okay. This is on which section of the house?
That's
The upper area?
Yes, sir. By the chimney, right side.
Okay.
That was taken.
What needs to be done there?
It needs to be repaired and removed, repaired and removed.
So you need to
I
replace
removed and repaired
wood.
my bed.
I just want a record to show a very precise description of exactly what needs to be done to bring it
Yes,
into compliance. So if somebody can look at it on paper and say, this is what it needs to.
Yes, sir.
Next,
This is 4B, this is another picture of the rotten wood.
this is the same view from a farther away perspective.
Should be the same picture, it was taken 12/16/2022.
Hmm.
Different sunlight. This picture of the broken window.
Violation of 171, 30-171.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that picture was taken 10/11/2022.
How many of these windows are there?
Just that one that I can see,
One.
that I can see, yes, sir. And this picture is 5B, that's 12/16/2022.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. For the record, again, I'll inquire, is John R. Martin in his capacity as trustee or anyone representing John R. Martin present today? Had any contact with Mr. Martin or anyone else who's got an ownership or interest in his house?
No, sir.
So people are working on this house but nobody's living in it?
No, sir.
Okay. I'm just trying to sort out just
Yes, sir.
who's responsible, if we can know who they are. All right, the city's asking for 60 days for compliance, is that correct? Until
Yes, sir.
it'll be Monday, February 20th, 2023, a $100 fine if not brought in compliance, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, based on the evidence and testimony presented, we're going to find a violation of section 30-169 of the municipal code of City of Palatka relating to building fronts and sides, abutting streets or public areas, and that the sections of the building seen from 804 from the right of way known as Oak Street have rotten and exposed wood, mold, and mildew. A violation of section 30-32 municipal code of Palatka, prohibited conditions and public nuisances, overgrown grass. You have some grass photos?
No, sir, the grass was taken care of.
So that's not in this order.
No, sir.
All right, Miss Hughes, you got that one? Not in this order?
Yes,
Didn't
sir.
tell you. He didn't tell you, huh? Okay. So 30-162 is not violation. Violation of 30-171 of the municipal code, a single broken window visible from Oak Street, is that
Yes, sir.
correct? Okay. And a violation of section 30-170 municipal code, rear and side walls, deteriorating paint on the rear and side walls of the structure, which will require pressure washing and repainting
Yes, sir.
for those walls. And that's just the rear and side walls, correct?
Yes, sir.
On the, you have the front and sides, it's just mold and mildew and rotten wood.
Exposed wood.
Okay, so, all right.
It has to be stained or painted.
All right, we'll enter an order, find the violations, and assessing a daily fine of $100 if the property is not brought into compliance within 60 days of today's hearing. The 60th day is, not counting weekends and holidays, is Monday, February 20th. That doesn't happen to be President's Day, does it?
Yeah,
That's the holiday.
but I think
It'll be February 21st, Tuesday, February 21st. 60 days will be on that date. In the event of non-compliance, that fine of $100 will accrue beginning on Tuesday,
Right.
February 22nd, 2023.
Mr. Brown, it should be 75. We cut the grass and debris off. of it. So
I can't hear you.
It should be.
Should be $75. $75?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay.
It's only 3 violations.
Correct, and the findings of facts.
Is there, give me a feel for why these numbers change. What are you trying to accomplish?
Well, no, when he removed the grass and debris, that made it instead of 4 violations, made it 3 violations, so $25 late per violation. Yeah.
Got it. $75 a day.
Yeah, since he
60
came.
days, given President's Day, February 21st, 2023. Okay. All right, 2 more to go. This is a case of property located at 1313 Madison Street, Palatka, case number 2022-47. Appears to be the owners of record are Yoti Patel and Pushpa N. Patel. Are anyone or Yoti Patel or Pushpa N. Patel present today, or anyone representing them present today? All right, seeing and hearing no one again, property 1313 Madison Street. City citing 2 violations, one of section 30-169 of the code, building fronts and sides, abutting streets and public areas, rotten exposed wood, mold and mildew. And section 30-32 municipal code prohibited conditions and public nuisances, overgrown grass. Pertinent sections of both code provisions are included in the record. All right, Mr. Green.
yes, sir. The property was first observed 10/10/2022. The note hearing was sent 11/8/2022. No green card was returned. The site posting was 11/8/2022.
Okay, and the green card was not returned, and the address of record is 953 North Griffin Shores Drive, St. Augustine, Florida, 32080. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that's the official address of record on the property appraiser and tax collector.
Yes, sir.
All right, in the absence of, did you get a green card back at all?
No, sir.
Did the envelope come back?
Yes, sir.
Did it say why it was?
It said forwarded. No, couldn't- the loop.
Okay, here it is. Sometimes when the postal service sends the envelopes back unused, they'll put a notation on there as to
Yes,
why
right.
it was refused. They didn't put that, I didn't see one in this one.
It should be in your, it should be in your packet, Mr. Brown.
Well, I'm just looking at this. It is-
Okay, oh,
Usually what they'll put on is a little yellow sticker on it,
Yes,
that'll
it's-
give you some indication.
the other
that
picture
it's
has
correct.
one on there. It should be in your packet.
All right, you have your notices of posting both at the property and on here at City Hall, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mhm. Posting at the property was on the 8th of November, correct?
Yes, sir.
And here at City Hall, also on the 8th of November.
Yes.
Okay. All right, please proceed. You got 2 violations. Like mold and mildew, rotten exposed wood and overgrown grass.
Yeah. This is picture number 1 that was taken August 18th, 2022. It's a picture of the mold mildew in front of the house. Like I say, that's on Madison Street.
Okay.
This is picture 1B. Of 16/2022 is in front of the house.
All right. So what needs to be done? Just pressure wash?
Pressure wash this. This is picture 2/8 taken August 18th, 2022 of mold and mildew and the wheat and rotten wood right there at the corner of the gable or the roof.
So what needs to be replaced at the wood?
And the rotten wheat and wood need to be move in place.
So you're pointing, that doesn't register on the record, just so you know. So can you describe for me what it is you're circling with your
Yes, sir,
point?
that's the front of the house, the right corner of the house,
Mhm.
right above the
Porch.
porch roof.
All right, this is over the porch roof,
Yes, sir.
and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flats,
Yes, sir.
okay? It's a clapboard siding, okay?
And this is another picture of it, 1216, this is picture 2B, the same issues.
That's the same portion
Yes, sir.
of the house, okay?
This is more of the mold and mildew. This is actually on the porch. Mold and mildew on the wall. You got the rotten wood on the porch, steps, porch, actually the porch.
So the wood on the porch needs to be replaced,
Yes, sir.
how much of it?
All of it.
Okay.
This is 3B, 121622. Someone put a screen over it, but you can tell the rotten wood still there.
So somebody did make an effort?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's overgrown grass. That's the picture taken August 18, 2022.
So do you need to mow the grass? Does he need to get the vegetation off the balustrade
Yes.
of the
Move
fence?
all over, just a move all overgrown grass.
You can't grow
Goodbye.
ivy on your front porch?
Sir,
You can't grow ivy in your front porch fence in the city of Palatka?
No.
No? Okay,
I don't think that's ivy. I think that's more.
That's weeds.
all right, what else you have?
That's picture 4B, 1216, 2022, another picture of overgrown grass.
Okay. Did you take all the photographs you presented today as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
And the photographs accurately represent the condition of property and dating which you took them?
Yes, sir.
So I'm looking at basically mowing the yard, trimming it, getting the vegetation off of the side of the house and the railings,
Yes, sir.
and repairing the exposed wood on the section of the house over the front porch
The
roof.
rotten and weakened wood,
I'm sorry?
the rotten and weakened wood.
Yes. And then you need some mold and mildew.
Yes, sir.
Pressure washing be
Yes, sir.
sufficient?
Yes, sir.
All right. Last call for Yoti Patel or Pushpa Patel, or anyone representing the Patels.
Mr.
Right,
Brown
so
also, they also need to repair the porch also.
Have you had any contact with the Patels?
No, sir.
Anybody living in this house?
Someone lives on it every now and then, as you can see the stuff right there. They're
Okay.
not the owner.
Have you gone like knocked on the door and asked who they were? I mean,
No, sir, they sleep outside on the porch.
Transit.
okay. It's a nice little house and good neighborhood. Somebody needs to take care of it. All right, based on the evidence and testimony presented, we're going to find a violation of municipal code, city Palatka Municipal Code Section 30-169 relating to building fronts and sides, abutting streets or public areas due to rotten and exposed wood over the front of the house, over the front porch roofing, and then mold and mildew in that area. And also a violation of section 30-32 of the city code, prohibited conditions of public nuisances due to overgrown grass and weeds and vegetation both in the yard and on the sides of the house, and the railings around the house. All right, last case for the year. 20-2241, Edward J. Baird, property at 127 Azalea Circle, Palatka, Florida. It's Edward J. Baird or anyone representing Edward J. Baird present today. Seeing and hearing no one, tell me about our due process. What do we do to try to contact this person?
I looked at the address on the tax collector and the property appraiser, find the
Okay.
address, mail out a 10-day voluntary compliance letter. Go out and re-inspect the property after 10 days or 11 days, probably still out of compliance, then I would send a notice of hearing, which is notarized and certified return mail.
Okay, hang on.
And
The
also,
letter, the notice of violation, notice of hearing were sent to 2916 Diver Loop, the
yes,
Villages, Florida, 32163. That is the official record of property
Yes, sir.
appraiser and tax collector's roll.
yes, sir. And
Any
also,
contact with Mr. Baird?
I think we got in contact with his son, and his son says he was planning on selling it, and that's the only contact we've had with him.
When was that contact? Do you recall?
See, he talked to Aaron. When did Mr. Barrett call Aaron?
Mr. Baird contacted our office.
This is Mr. Baird, the younger, the son?
Yes, sir, correct. It is his son. His son contacted the office and stated that his father had passed in September. I have a note here on 11/17 that Mr. Mitchell Baird contacted the office. He said that his father purchased the property at the end of last year, fell ill and then passed away this past September. And he was explaining the process for the special magistrate and encouraged compliance with any possible violations.
Do you
prior to-
know when, so the owner of the property, Edward J. Baird, is deceased?
Yes, sir. And we were notified of that on the 17th of November.
Okay. This was after notice was sent?
Yes, I believe so. After the voluntary compliance was sent, he reached out to us. And since then, we have also been in touch with a Mr. Robert Moser, who's expressed interest in purchasing it. And Mr. Baird claims that they have been in conversation of transitioning the property.
Okay.
And Mr. Baird
After
had,
you posted notice,
yes, sir.
Mr. Baird, the owner, passed away. You've been in contact with Mr. Baird's son,
Yes, Mr. Mitchell Baird.
okay? And he's aware of these proceedings? Has he received notice of the proceedings?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He was also provided a Zoom link and he said that he would attempt to be here and participate via Zoom and stated that if not, I provided him with the YouTube links and everything to watch afterwards and would follow up with him after.
Right. Right, we're claiming, city's claiming 4 violations, one of section 30-32 of the municipal code of the city of Palatka, prohibited conditions and public nuisances, roofing and disrepair. Municipal code, city of Palatka, section 30-171, windows, broken windows. Section 30-32, the municipal code, prohibited conditions and public nuisances, overgrown grass and brush. And 30-169, building fronts and sides, abutting streets or public areas, rotten and exposed wood, mold, and mildew. Right, Mr. Green?
The property was first observed September 8th, 2022. And those hearing went out 11/8/2022. Site posting was 11/8/22 also.
Did you take all the photographs you're presenting today as demonstrative evidence?
Yes, sir.
And do the photos actually represent the condition of the property on the date in which you took them?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please proceed.
This is picture 1 taken September 8th, 2022. Showing the structure deteriorating. It's a house behind some of those trees. You can see
Okay,
that's-
how can you tell it's deteriorated and show me what you're looking at?
The top part, this behind the trees, that's the best picture I can get from that angle, but I have other angles where I can show where the structure is deteriorating.
Okay. You're going to show me a better picture?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's another picture of the house, yes, sir.
What are you trying to show me with that photo? Number 1, A, B.
That's a picture of the same picture I took, the 8th of September.
Okay.
It's
I
showing
just
the
wanna-
top, see the top and the other wall deteriorated.
All right. Show me, see if you got something better to show me too. So you're looking there, is this like a stucco surface?
Yes, sir. It's coming off.
So the stucco surface has come off?
Yes, sir.
All right, so that needs to be repaired.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And that's another picture of the structure deteriorating. Inside that window was no glass, the broken windows and overgrown grass.
All right,
And that's 2B, that's a little bit further off, so you can see the structure a little better.
Good.
And overgrown grass and that window still had to be repaired.
okay, so we've got the overgrown grass is growing up on the side of the house.
Yes, sir.
And those windows are broken. How many of them are there?
6.
6
Yes,
windows?
sir. If they have some on the side of the house is broken also. And they have
Where's
some-
Azalea Circle?
Near the Department of Health, sir,
Yes, sir, by the
near
graveyard.
Kennedy Street.
Okay. Thank you. Proceed.
And I'm showing a picture of the inside of the house where the roofing is in disrepair, the roofing is caved in.
So what's the roofing disrepair?
And the roof, inside the window, we can see the roof. I got another picture, so
Okay,
that's just the sunlight thing. Yeah, that day with that camera. Now can you see it? You can see it better right there.
okay, it's just kind of collapsed.
Yes, sir.
Is this like an eave over the?
No,
coming
sir,
off
that's
the
inside,
house?
that's
The roof
inside of it.
itself?
That's inside of the house, yes.
Oh, that's inside the house?
Yes, see the window and then,
So you can see through from the outside?
yes, sir.
And the roofing is falling inside, okay.
Yes, sir.
This house has been like this for a while.
I think like 19 years.
We're back to the same stucco.
Yes, sir. And that's showing the roofing in disrepair right there, and that's a better picture of the structure deteriorating.
All right,
And that's the 2 windows that I mentioned on the side of the house, and also the structure is not secured. And that's 5B, that's a picture of 12/16/22. Still the windows broken, and still the building is not, the structure is not secured.
okay, I didn't see secured structure on the list of violations.
It's on
Did you
my,
get notice of that?
yes. Did we send them the notice of the hearing?
Yeah, so does it have does it have the unsecured?
No, sir.
Huh?
No, sir.
So it's not on there, okay, fine, making sure. So we're basically, this photo is looking for broken windows.
Yes, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Realistically, what you're showing me is a house that has been unmaintained for a substantial period of time.
Yes, sir.
The vegetation has grown completely up over the top of it in places, correct?
Yes, sir.
The roof has collapsed
Inside the house.
almost completely.
Yes, sir.
Windows, are there any windows in the house?
No, sir.
Any functioning windows? They're all broken, in other words.
Yes, all over.
So the roof's in disrepair, you have broken windows, overgrown grass and bush, rotten exposed wood, mold and mildew. Is the rotten exposed wood mostly the roof that you're looking at?
Yes, sir.
So realistically, what would it take to bring this house into compliance?
Remove and repair.
The whole house?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, can they take it down to the walls? Is it, you don't know if it's structurally sound or not at this
I
point?
don't. I don't know.
Well, you need to be able to express to the owner exactly what the owner needs to
Yes, sir.
do to get compliance.
Yes, sir.
So what would you say to the owner?
Remove and repair. Remove the roof and replace it with a new roof. Replace it with new glass windows and then fix the, I think we had mold in there too. And those are my main 2 things, and it's, since we left off one, we'll found out the case on that one, but remove the roof and replace it with a new roof, and also put in the windows.
Okay, could he put plywood in the windows just to secure it?
Security, yes, secure with plywood.
But he needs to get this vegetation knocked down.
Overgrown grass, you need to clean the house.
Basically, replace the roof, secure the windows, plywood or new windows and vegetation.
Yes.
Okay, so we're on the same page?
Yes, sir.
Got it. All right. Again, last call for Edward J. Baird. Anyone representing the interest of Edward J. Baird? Seeing and hearing no one. Make sure, do we have Mr. Baird, the younger's address?
We have a contact phone number with him and I have it recorded in our records here.
We'll send it to the 127 Azalea Circle. It's the official address, but I'd like if you can get a number of address. Make sure you
address that we have on is for the 2916 Diaper Loop Villages.
The villages? Okay,
Yes.
that probably will work, but just make sure, I like to make sure we cover all bases on getting in contact with them.
Yes, sir.
I know it's statutorily required, but so we'll find a violation of municipal code section 30-32 prohibited conditions and public nuisances due to the fact the roof is in total disrepair and has collapsed basically into the inside of the house. A violation of section 30-171, and that all the windows of the house appear to be broken and there are no functioning windows in the house. A violation of 30-32 municipal code due to overgrown grass and brush as prohibited conditions and public nuisances. The brush is grown up onto the sides and into the tops of the areas of the house. And then 30-169, building fronts and sides, abutting streets or public areas, rotten exposed wood, mold and mildew, mostly dealing from the collapsed roof. We enter an order finding the violations, requiring compliance no later than 120 days from the date of the hearing. That would be Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. In the event of non-compliance, a $100 day fine shall commence on the beginning of April 20th, 2023. There being no further items on the agenda and there being no further items from the floor, we are going to adjourn today's